We have received so much information about Nightreign's DLC in these past 2 weeks, so let's break down all of it. Massive spoiler warning, as this video will contain spoilers on the new Nightfarers, field bosses, events, POIs, Abominations, and the new Shifting Earth. Beginning with the Undertaker. She is an abscess who was mandated by her monastery to slay the Night Lord. Her weapon preference is hammers. She has an A scaling in strength and faith, B stat in HP, C stat in FP and stamina. Her character skill is trance, with the description stating bloodletting triggers the power of loathsome hex. This means that when it is activated, her running speed becomes as fast as her dash, without consuming stamina, while also gaining increased toughness, combo attack power, and her dodge turns into a dodge step. If Undertaker's ultimate art gauge is full, you can consume it for even more benefits such as attack power going up, speed increases, and can dodge a lethal blow just like Wilder. This character skill alone is pretty insane. Her ultimate ability is Loathsome Hex, codename Blinkstake. The description states that she pulls out an uncanny bone from her body. Speed toward target and strike, which is pretty accurate to how it works. Undertaker slingshots at the enemy or downed ally she is locked onto. It has a high range and high damage. However, if there are obstacles in your way, or the target is out of range because you overestimated the range, it will pop early and be wasted. Her passive ability is called Confluence. Its description states that an ally's execution of an art enables additional art activation regardless of gauge. Do note that this additional art activation stacks on top of the one that is already charging, and this additional one is usable for a brief window of time. You will know if you got an additional art activation as the Undertaker, an ultimate art icon will glow pink. Her relics include activating ultimate art increases attack power, contact with allies restores their HP while ultimate art is activated, attack power increased by landing the final blow of a chain attack, and physical attacks boosted while assist effect from incantation is active herself. One thing I personally don't like about this Nightfarer is her character icon in the game. Like, why is she looking at us? Moving on to the Scholar, he's an academic who walks the lands between and a member of the school Herodes. He seeks knowledge through travel. He contracted a disease that causes abnormally rapid aging. His weapon preference is thrusting swords. Scholar's attributes are as follows: S scaling in arcane, B stat in HP, FP, and stamina, C stat for faith, dex, and intelligence, and his weakest stat is D for strength. His passive ability, Bad Craft, seems to be the only thing interesting about this character. This passive causes consumable stacks to be increased and consumable categories can be leveled up twice during a match. The first level up improves and item strength or effectiveness, while the second can add a secondary effect. Items level up by repeatedly using them, and how long it takes to level them up depends on the item. Don't worry though, as soon as the DLC drops, we will drop a full video detailing the amount of uses needed to level up each category. Do note that consumables level up by category and not individually, so leveling up one pot means that they all get leveled up. So make sure to item spam in order to get the most out of this character. This makes consumable relics very important as you can get a head start on leveling your favorite items. His character skill is called Analyze, codename Photoshoot, with the description stating see target with monocle and note findings which linger as a spirit's symbols to various effects. Let me explain. Using this character skill offsets the camera and it creates a clock on the enemies that you aim at. This works better if you are closer to the enemies and it recharges fairly quickly. The longer you analyze, the more debuffs you apply to the enemy, or more buffs you apply to your allies. The debuff causes decreased attack at level 1, and at level 3, your next hit does even more damage to those enemies. If you decide to choose this buff, you increase your stamina at the first level, and at the third level, you gain a shield that when hit causes a shockwave. This character skill is said to be most useful against the new abomination called the Balancers, since it is best used to scan multiple enemies. His ultimate art, Communion, connects all enemies and allies together. If one enemy takes damage, all linked enemies take damage as well. Additionally, if allies use a healing item within the area, then allies get healing from it too. However, other item effects don't seem to pass on to allies since healing items were pointed out specifically. The ultimate is best for team fights, basically someone like the Balancer, to quickly eliminate multiple enemies. His relics include prevent slowing of character skill progress, allies targeted by character skill gain boosted attack, earn ruins for each additional specimen acquired with character skill, and continuous damage inflicted on targets threatened by ultimate art. Let's move on to some of the new enemies and field bosses seen throughout the trailers. We have Mesmer Soldiers from Shadow of the Edrtree, Blood Fiend from Shadow of the Edrtree, and Birdman seen in the Scholar trailer. Then from the GameSpot trailer we saw some End of Night bosses including Demon in Pain and Demon from Below from Dark Souls 3, Curseblade in a duo fight with Divine Beast Dancing Lion, both from Shadow of the Edrtree, and finally Mog Lord of Blood from Shadow of the Edrtree. There are definitely more bosses being added they didn't show since they weren't given permission to show all the enemies. However, there was some enemies spotted as well, such as Ancestral Follower Warrior in the Forge and Servant of Rot in the Swamps. I definitely missed some enemies and bosses somewhere, so be sure to let me know what they were. 2 brand new events were also spotted with the showcase for Caligo and Gladius. We don't see Caligo himself, but it starts hailing and there's a big red zone similar to most events that occur on the map. And we even get a brief look at a banner stating a chill mist rolls in and hail begins to rain. Gladius, on the other hand, was on full display. He is called Sundered Tricephalos, meaning a broken or separated tricephalos, which would explain why it is just one big swordless dog. Maybe there's more events, but these are the only ones that were confirmed so far. Moving on to the new points of interest, firstly we have swamps. They can be frenzy, poison, sleep, and or scarlet swamps. They are integrated within the original map and allow you to go deeper and deeper for a boss at the end. This is also where you will find Servant of Rot. Secondly, we have forges, which is my personal favorite of the two. The forge is surrounded by a town. This town contains a boss and you need to find some nearby things to light the forge. Doing so will allow you to re-roll and change the skill of one of your weapons. Similar interface to that of an anvil or upgrade desk at the bottom of the crater Shifting Earth. Speaking of Shifting Earth, the new Shifting Earth is not a new map. It's selectable Shifting Earth as you would expect. However, this Shifting Earth is on an entirely new map and does not take place in the original map, like other Shifting Earths. The area is covered with what looks like a thick layer of white ash, but large formation of crystals are also a regular sight. In some areas, you may encounter a crystal curse, requiring you to engage in a side mission to acquire a status effect that immunes you to this. While in others, the biggest danger is an errant jump or poorly timed sprint. And you will be jumping more than you think because a key design of the Great Hollows is verticality. There are deep mines that you can fall into, but are also precarious platforming demands that will have you walking along planks suspended above dilapidated cathedrals nestled in underground caverns. Finding different crystals at different points and destroying them which will unlock the big crystal granting you something. Crystal Curse, if you are there, cuts your health in half. So if you get the ability and then clear the area, there will be no crystal earth, making it a lot easier to clear. Finally, we have some new information on one of the new abominations. I believe they are called the Balancers, and there are 7 of them. You want to keep track of them as you might get ambushed by a sweep attack across the map. They are squishy though, on their own you can take one down fairly easily. However, once you defeat all 7, so a quarter of the health bar, they all get back up and one becomes the main leader. After which one of their moves includes long-range slice attacks covering the entire map, similar to Holster. There was some additional information found in the gameplay showcase from Japanese game media company this morning that answered some questions some of you may have had. Level 3 pots leave fire on the ground like the Grafted Dragon skill. Spider Scorpions from Shadow of the Edrtree will also be added. Demon Prince is a day 1 boss for the Balancers. And there also seems to be relics that change starting spells, but no gameplay was actually shown for that. And there's also 2 skins that were also showcased for the Undertaker and the Scholar, and here they are now. That is all the information we have been able to gather from all the trailers and showcases. If you found something I didn't, let me know. And if you've been watching for a while, you would know that most of this information covered in this video has already been covered on this channel before.